Tillis of North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations to all of you for your nominations. Commissioner Crenshaw, I want to start with you. You made a statement after the SEC's recent climate rule, and I think to use your words, you said you considered the rule to be the bare minimum and not the rule I would have written. So I'm curious, with respect to Scope 3 reporting requirements, is that one of the root causes of your disappointment? If you can keep your comments brief, I would appreciate it.
Sure, Senator. Thank you. With respect to bare minimum, my intent there was that
where did it fall short?
It fell short. Well, investors. I talked about two places where investors. What I was really thinking about when I said not the rule I would have written was I would have thought about using models, assumptions, and estimates much more completely than we did. And that way we could have gotten more information to investors in a way that was less expensive. And I would also considered robust safe harbors from liability.
If confirmed, would you consider reopening the rule? And if you did, would Scope 3 reporting requirements be a part of the revised rule?
I don't know, Senator. As you know, it's in litigation right now, so a lot is going to depend on the outcome of the litigation. And
do you generally support the notion of Scope 3 reporting requirements?
I think investors had put comments in the comment file, and I think we need to balance the interests. But I think there's a way that you can look at assumptions and estimates and a safe harbor from liability to ensure that the costs are not prohibitive and to ensure that you're not asking farmers and unregistered entities to provide information. Okay,
thank you. Ms. Goldsmith Romero, I want to go back to Silicon Valley Bank. What, in your opinion, if you could only, the major root cause of SVB's failure, what was it? Was it, well, actually, let me not give you choices. What do you think the root cause of SVB Bank was?
Thank you, Senator, for that failure of risk management at the bank and then failures on the regulatory supervision.
Yeah, so you didn't see capitalization as an issue?
I was not, a bank regular at that time, but it seemed like the root cause is what you were just asking.
Poorly managed and poorly supervised?
Correct.
I think as a result, because at the time of the, it seems like it was ages ago. It's hard to believe it hasn't been that long. But at the time of the failure, everybody was saying, and because they felt so many other banks were failing, was it your opinion that what we saw there was going to ripple through? I know we had the one other failure, First Republic, but do you view those as some of us do as kind of outliers in the banking industry based on their models?
So this is
activities?
This is a really interesting question. So let me take it back even a little bit farther, which is the crisis. And this really comes down to consumer confidence, right? If consumers don't have confidence that their money is safe, businesses and individuals, then you're going to see bank runs and you're going to see contagion. You may have bank runs not even related to the banks who are in trouble. And what we don't want to have that. We don't want to have people pulling their money out of the bank and putting it in just one of the hugest banks thinking that it's safe. And so, I think there was a situation where there was Silicon Valley Bank and Signature, and they tried to, the regulator tried to contain that. But I do think we need to really be looking deeply at this issue of bank runs and consumer confidence, particularly in modernized banking.
I just feel like there was some thinking. A lot of people were attributing the Senate Bill 2155. I was one of four on my side that worked with Senator Warner and others on that bill. They were trying to blame it on just a lack of regulation, but it doesn't really. It seemed like a lack of supervision and a lack of risk management. So I'll move on from there. Kind of curious about your view of the 2024 stress test. I read the results of those stress tests to say that our banks are pretty well capitalized. How do you read the results of those stress tests?
Yeah, so again, I'm on the outside looking at it just like you are. And so it does seem like some capital is strong. I think there are some areas that need to be looked at, but that's how I read the stress.
But is a stress test by definition really subjecting the banks to some of those areas? So do you think that the stress tests themselves are insufficient, or you just need to look at the details within the stress test scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with stress tests. I mean, it's designed for capital adequacy, and so
And it's literally stressing, so it's coming up with extraordinary circumstances. So,
absolutely, sir. Yes.
okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank